how to create super colourful frames in Clip Studio Paint. For this I'm using the saturated line tool. Go to the window menu. The key panels are Subtool Detail and Layer Panel. On the screen you can see the sort of frame that I am aiming for, a very colourful line design. Go to the toolbar, go to the figure tool and then go to the Subtool panel and select Saturated Line. Select the Scattered subtool. I'm now going to modify it slightly. For Destination Layer, select the second entry. For the figure, I am going for the Rectangle option. I'm going to modify the gap of line as well as the grouping. Just going to change the number of lines generated. Now clear the image. I'm going to use the Edit menu and Fill, using white to fill the document with white. You could fill with other colours. You could also import an image. Draw a saturated line layer in the centre of the image. I'm using red, so now you get some red lines. Change the colour via the swatches panel. Draw another layer. Change the colour again, this time with blue. This time I'm using pink, but you can use any colour. Green. Create 10, 15, 20, as many layers, saturated line layers, as you would like. As layers, you can manipulate them via the layer panel, you can delete them, you can duplicate them, or go to the layer menu and flatten image. Clear the current document. I'm going to go to the Edit menu and Fill with white. Go to the Subtool Detail panel and set the figure value to ellipse. The generated layer will now be circular. Drag the circle out to close to the edge of the document and release. You can then change the gap of line as well as grouping for the next generated layer to create thinner lines or more lines or less lines. And you can keep experimenting. Apply with a new colour. You can also go to the Subtool Detail panel and change the disarray setting. That adds randomisation to the design. Apply in blue or any other colour. Green. Repeat over and over to create a really intense multicoloured design. Go to Layer menu and Flatten Image. Go to the Filter menu and Blur and Gaussian Blur to blur that frame. Set to 4, etc. and click OK. Add some more saturated line layers to that blur design, so now you've got a combination of blurred as well as distinct saturated lines. And you can repeat that multiple times. Change the colour. You can't apply a filter to a saturated line layer, so go to Layer menu and Flatten Image. Go to Filter menu and Blur and Gaussian Blur. Apply with a lower setting than before. Or use one of the other blur filters. Apply some more saturated line layers using different colours as well as different settings in the Subtool Detail panel. Go to the Ink category and change the blending mode to Difference. Using the Difference blending mode means that the colours now are even more extreme when they're added to the current image. Go to the Brush Size category. Increase the size setting to widen the saturated lines. Keep applying the lines until you reach a point where you're happy with your super colourful frame. You can now use the frame with images, type and much more. You can also store your design using the Materials feature in Clip Studio Paint. Hope you found this tutorial of interest. Please subscribe, always adding new tutorials about Clip Studio Paint. Also, please add some comments. Also, a like or dislike. Thank you much.